Hillary Clinton is on pace to win the popular vote in the election by 2.5 million votes. Now, the day after, I think she only had a lead of like 200,000 votes or so, which is still a big lead. I mean, don't get me wrong. 200,000 more people voted for her than Donald Trump. But then, articles came out in the days after. Okay, her lead's up to 750,000 votes. Okay, now it's over 1 million. Okay, now it's expected at 2 million. Oh boy, now they're expecting on pace she would win by about 2.5 million votes in the popular vote. Now, to put that in perspective for you, think about this. That's similar to the margin that George W. Bush beat John Kerry by in 2004. Damn. Now, of course, Bush won the Electoral College. Hillary's going to lose the Electoral College. Bush won the Electoral College, but it's about the same margin of victory. Again, one being a victor, one losing. And understand that after that election, Bush came out and said, oh no, that's cute. The Democrats want to try to oppose me on anything. I have a mandate. I can do whatever I want. So Bush won by about the same margin in the popular vote that Hillary Clinton is going to win in the popular vote. And he had a mandate, and the other person is president today. Come on, man. Look, putting the candidates aside, totally put the candidates out of your mind. In fact, if it makes the thought experiment easier for you, flip it. Let's say Donald Trump won by 2.5 million votes. How do you think he would take that? I mean, he was tweeting when he thought that Mitt Romney had won the popular vote and lost the Electoral College, he said, the Electoral College is a disaster for democracy. He called for revolution. He said, how could the person who gets more votes lose? That makes no sense. So how would he have reacted if it was him? Oh, you would have never heard the end of it. I think he would have told his people to go out in the streets. I think it would have been an ugly, ugly, ugly time. And guess what? I would have come out here and I actually would have defended him on the logic of it. Because the logic of it is, if Donald Trump won by 2.5 million popular votes, well, bitch, he won by 2.5 million popular votes. If we actually care about one man, one vote and democracy, shouldn't he have won? So he would have been right if he won and then he came out and said, look, I deserve it because I won more votes. Now, that's not our system, but I would have said, no, but that's the system we should have. But when it's Hillary Clinton, look, everybody knows I despise Hillary Clinton. I despise Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. But if you ask me, the Electoral College, it just makes no sense. I mean, look, I get the argument for it, but I don't agree with it. Because at the end of the day, the people who are for the Electoral College have to understand the fact and accept the fact that their position is literally undemocratic. Now, if they're okay with that and they think that other arguments override that, okay, so be it. But you need to know where you stand. And where you stand is, hey, sometimes I think that what the people want shouldn't be implemented. I think it should be the opposite of that. Now, again, I've argued, so there are instances where that's okay on specific issues. This is why we have a constitution. You can't have, for example, if the majority of people vote tomorrow to take rights away from black people, well, we'd say, no, that's not a democratic issue. That's a constitutional issue. That's a civil liberties issue. That's a rights issue. So there are, on specific issues, this is why constitutions exist. There are things that are off the table of democracy or mob rule. When it comes to picking a leader, that ain't one of them. When it comes to picking a leader, it just should be, okay, this person got more votes. Now, again, people act like, yeah, but Kyle, come on. I mean, that's not fair. And when you look at, like, the Senate, for example, why do you want to be unfair to Wyoming, Kyle? You want to have Wyoming with less representation than California? Pfft. Yeah, I do. Because negative 32 people live in Wyoming and half the population of the planet lives in California. There's nobody in Wyoming. There's nobody in Montana. There's very few people. I got nothing against them, but why should they be worth more than people in a more populated state? They shouldn't. So, I mean, again, this stuff to me seems pretty obvious. And the idea that the democratic will of the people to pick their leader should be implemented seems pretty obvious. But no, that's not what's happening, and she's going to win by 2.5 million votes, about that. And she lost. And she lost. I think there's a problem with that system, even though I don't like Hillary Clinton. But this isn't about Hillary Clinton. This is about the fact that since the year 2000, 40% of the elections in the U.S. have been the opposite of what the people have picked. That's almost half. Almost half of our elections, it doesn't matter who wins the most votes. You want to try to defend that? Be my guest, but I think your arguments are rather silly.